stop from getting shot. But like,
Well, yeah, not in like speedball. I haven't ever had anybody tell me about a mercy rule in speedball.
okay, yeah,
Ever, yeah.
I never
Scenario
played
ball.
I never played in speedball
Like
and stuff.
scenario ball for sure, though.
Speedball.
Yeah, like with
Yeah,
the well, most of the time it's with
Bunch of
inflatables.
drugs.
Nah, it's the ones like you see the competitions and stuff on TV.
It's a lot of drugs though too.
I don't know.
But yeah,
I like-
I've taken nut shots from like 3 feet away, and that wasn't fun.
Well, what happened with mine was like everyone got it for Christmas, and I begged my dad to get me one. He got me some shitty fucking paintball gun, and these other kids had like Spider. Like, is that a name?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So they were like actually fucking destroying me. Like it was like
You had the Walmart one where you had to like shove each.
yeah, it was
fucking
like these guys
paintball
are just
into
like
the
I was like in
chamber.
a real. But what was cool was we all had like fatigues. My buddy owned a farm, so we were like out there like laying like in hay bales. Like we were in the
Yeah.
shit.
That's
That's
like I had a friend that used to own property, hundreds of acres when I grew up, and we used to go out there and play airsoft when that used to be cool, and we would
yeah.
jump in each
Airsoft
other's
was never
cars.
cool.
Well, we would jump in each other's cars and chase each other around this ranch, shooting shooting airsoft guns out windows at each other and shit.
That's
No,
awesome. though.
I think
Yeah,
airsoft
right?
is pretty sweet. I like watched a whole 20-minute YouTube video on it the other day, like of people just
Like, well, in
Fucking-
other countries, like you see, like soldier goes paint or airsofting, and they're just tapping, like getting 198 kills or some shit like that. I saw in one of them, like it was a 20-minute long video that dude just nailing people in the
Yeah.
face with this little fake AR.
yeah.
Yeah,
This
but
one
now in America, there's too many like fat dropout soldiers and Marines that like to airsoft because they never got to get into like real combat.
fucking profiles.
Yeah, profilers, soft shoe guys.
Yeah, I love profiles, dude.
Well, and I love it because they always are wearing
Worst.
like tennis shoes when they do it,
Yeah.
so it fits perfect.
Yeah, with like
It gives
camo
you-
pants.
in my combat
like,
boots,
yo, let me wear these white Nike boots or
but they all
Ultra
drop
Boosts.
like fucking thousands of dollars into their whole mil spec rig, and then, and then
it's
they
like
walk out
19
wearing basic training Asics.
It's like fucking, and they're wearing like 1960s Molly gear,
Yeah,
but they
Yeah.
paid like thousands of dollars for it.
dude, I would kill for some of them Reebok classics that I used to rock back then. Like, cause everyone would get those ASIC shit, and then like, but they were selling those like Reebok classics there, and everyone was like, "Those are so stupid." I was like, "These are the sweetest fucking shoes here." They did nothing for your feet. Like, I had shin splints forever.
Always.
Yeah, but they look the tightest.
I got those Asics like the Nike Shock reps.
Oh yeah, I remember Shocks. That was a thing.
Well, Asics made a pair
yeah.
too though.
Yeah,
They were pretty heavy as fuck though. They were pretty cool though.
pretty heavy as fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Like,
So
I
what-
got some of those Nike Frees. The whenever parkour was like a really cool thing, I guess. And
No, see, that was never a
the
cool
shoes were
thing.
like comfy as shit, but they were
I'll
super
say-
nice shoes.
My favorite ever like athletic shoe was my Nike Pegasus.
Is that what you named your gamer tag off of?
No, that's a actually true story. I know. I'll tell you how that happened.
So is this
So-
going to be a where we got our gamer tag?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So, it was back when on Xbox, the original, my first ever name was like Attila the Hun,
Okay.
and then the account lapsed because I don't remember why. I went to like military school or something, and my account lapsed, and I couldn't remember my information. I didn't have access to the old email, and back then it was like a lot harder to recover shit like that. So I just created a new one. Or I didn't. My brothers created one. I used theirs, and then when I joined the army, I tried to convert my non-online name to my online name. But I guess it was taken, which was weird because like I don't think anybody else would have that name.
Attila the Hun?
No, it
I was
wasn't.
about to say
Attila.
I could think of. You could probably throw a stick and find someone that would.
No, it was something different. But so it like auto gave me a name, and I was just like, oh sure,
Oh yeah,
I'll
I
take
got one
that.
of those.
Ruling
Mine
Pegasus?
was
Yeah,
so-
the ruling Pegasus 7. Yeah.
Oh,
It was
wow.
better than mine. My
You just-
random
you just-
Xbox one was Soulful Turnip 45. So
See, that's actually kind of okay. Like I would rock Soulful Turnip.
Yeah. See,
yeah,
Yeah.
see, random ones would be. I kind of wish that they would let you. One day they're going to let you change your name on PlayStation, and then I'm going to like feel bad that I'm going to change it, but I'm definitely going to change my name. Like,
Why? What's wrong with your name now?
I just Well, I had another name that I really liked for a long time, Turd Ferguson, and then I could only have that on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
So then I had a PlayStation name for the longest time that I had on both of them, and it was Just Killed You, but it was like no vowels in there, and it was with an I. It was so stupid, but
Fuck, you're cool.
so yeah, it was like Halo 2 times, when you just yelled racist stuff at the end of the match.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
like-
That's yeah.
But then I was
So-
like, but with Jimmy Noobtron, I just basically I don't know. I don't even. Did this just cut out? Say something.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's just the music just cut out a little bit. I don't know what happened. No, but oh no, it's just in the song. I must be drunk already. God damn.
So anyway, well, oh, you're going still.
I don't care.
You're talking about Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah, I don't really care about it though. I just like wanted to think of something. Like I don't even watch that show. I just wanted the word noob for some reason, and then I just thought it sounded clever in my mind.
It did.
But then people like have friended me because of that name, and like I never live up to it. Like they think I'm gonna be like funny or something, or be really good, and I'm just like, nah, I just got lucky with this name. What about your name, dude? Because
Well,
I've noticed that your name is different than everything else that it is on your.
On me, well, I get really bored of my name a lot and change it consistently. PlayStation, I forget how old I was. I was like 17 or 18 or something, and I really liked Wu-Tang, and I was listening to Wu-Tang at the time, so I was like RZA. And then like the next thing I heard was I think it was in Protect Your Neck.
RZA, the Razor.
It says the Hellraiser, yeah. So I just put that on.
God line with it. I forget what he says, but yeah, I used to love
Yeah.
that song.
So, hell yeah, that song's awesome. So I did that, and then I was sitting there thinking, trying to do something with Jesus because I thought it'd be funny, and I was playing Call of Duty, I think, because I wanted to change my gamer tag. And someone ripped an RPG right by, so I was thinking of Jesus, so it's like RP Jesus, and I can't stop I can't not use that. So that was it for a while.
See, I thought that had to do with Destiny, RP Jesus.
No, oh no, I had that way before Destiny.
Well, it's like
Because it would be RN Jesus if I was doing it off Destiny.
oh Jesus. Well, it's like I get bored. I use the same one now just because I forget everything. But my Xbox name now is not ruling Pegasus anymore.
Yeah.
My brother Morgan, he decided to get a PlayStation after I got one, and was like, "Yo, I got the best name ever.
Fucking poser, dude.
Don't take it." And I was like, "Oh, what is it?" And he's like, "It's a chesticle sweat or something like that."
Yeah.
I was like, "That's kind of funny. I want to think of something cool like that." So my name on Xbox is now Side Boob Cheese.
That's what you brought us. It tasted a little weird.
Actually, like, people would play with me. I played Call of Duty a lot around that time, and I was playing gun game and just destroying people's hearts, like I was talking about before.
Why is everyone admitting to playing Call of Duty today?
Dude,
I don't know.
gun game, when you could one-hit melee somebody, was the shit. That was the quick twitch gamer's dream right there. Like, just knifing the fuck out of somebody before they could shoot you.
I guess. I did have some fun with Call of Duty back in the day, and
This is like Ghosts.
Yeah.
That was the last one I actually... Like, I played Black Ops 3, but I only did it for zombies.
yeah.
Ghost was the last one I actually played. Like, Advanced Warfare or whatever.
Warfare.
And
You wanted to say
Infinite-
Warfighter.
Yeah. And then the Infinite one, all those sucked. I didn't like them.
I don't know, I totally cheated my ass off and got a hacked profile for Black Ops 3. Shit was
Yeah,
awesome.
I know. His fucking levels are like 9999999.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. I've been wanting to ask someone that really did that. And I don't mean this in a smart way, like, where's the fun in that?
Because I don't really play to unlock. I play because I like to kill people. And the weapons being locked is hindrance to me. Because I just don't really care.
Oh, so
What's
you just
like-
wanted to get in and do it, but you don't like cheat and like just like no clip people like through the wall. Like
No. I mean, I don't like games that have... I
he
don't
dabbled
like
in that, I'm sure.
weapons that
Yeah.
are locked, I guess.
He probably
No.
IP locked people on
Yeah.
Halo 2.
No, I didn't make a lag switch for the PlayStation when I was younger, though.
Yeah,
Sure,
see?
I
Well,
made a lag switch to solo Crota too, so can't say shit on that either.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess.
Did it
I
work
would
on
do that.
Crota?
Because you reap the benefits of it. And yes, it did work.
Yeah, I did that a couple times with him.
So y'all are fucking cheaters.
A little bit. Well, no, like for
Yeah.
me, well, it's like me. He does that.
Cheesed Atheon? Jesus. Or the Templar? God.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
push
we
that
do cheese
motherfucker off
things.
a ledge.
Or Atheon for that matter. Just grenade, push him off the ledge before they fix it.
Yeah, if we could have
But
ever
no.
managed to get that to work.
Well, it's like he. Well, they fixed it. I thought.
I know,
After a
but
long time.
I spent hours trying to do that.
But
Man.
it's like he does that, but I just do the thing where I get kicked out of a lot of games, or people bounce out of a lot of games for zombies because I just never prestige, so that I always have everything unlocked. Like
Oh,
why prestige and get my level higher when I can just have everything and be just as good?
because you can get gold weapons, right? Or you
I don't
can
give a fuck about all that. I'm
Yeah,
killing
that was-
zombies, not trying to be.
Yeah.
In,
So people would kick you out because your
Or they
level
would just-
wasn't high enough.
yeah,
so
so
they
they'd
assumed,
be like max prestige level max or whatever, and they'd be like, I don't want to play with this guy. He's fucking.
so
he
they would
hasn't
just
even
assume that
prestige.
you were a fucking nobody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's whatever though. I usually end
what
up
it is.
I usually end up doing a 2-person zombie run with like my brother or something because people just keep quitting and then we'll just start one.
Yeah. So how's work been?
Good. Just about done with training, which would be nice.
So you haven't even hit the floor yet.
Well, no, we've been doing shadowing and stuff, but no, I'm finishing with this training, and then I'm doing my technical training to know like how to actually fix shit.
You go to Leonard Wood for that?
Beyond like if only. No, it's like a week and a half or something, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know. They haven't given me my schedule for the whole thing, but it'll be another couple of weeks before I get to actually do my job.
So
Which
then after
again,
your
still it's better than Fort Sale.
are you? So even after you start your job, are you still on a probationary period, or is your training your probationary period?
Well, in Pennsylvania, it's the first 90 days is a probational period, like regardless of job. But nothing in the Apple verbiage or in my contract is anything about like probationary time.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So you're like, are you going to be full time?
No, I'm part time. I want to get full time though. I think that'd be super cool.
But how would you do that? Because aren't you going to in-class school?
No, I'm doing it online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fucking Strayer University, dude.
Hey,
Is that where you're going?
No, Western Governors University.
Oh.
It's in Salt Lake City. Basically, I'm going there because I can move like as fast as I want. So say one of my classes is like addition and subtraction. Since I already know how to do it, I can just do the class and then just go take the final and hopefully pass it. And then
So basically, why don't you just like clep out of shit then?
that's basically what I can do, but I can do it with every class
Oh, okay.
rather than just some gen ed ones.
I feel
So-
like CLEP always made me think of like a STD.
Yeah, did you do your
definitely.
clep test?
Yeah,
No.
you guys clap out some stuff.
Yeah, do you guys? Did everyone CLEP here? Or,
Who's got the clep? You got the clep.
so what are we talking about today? You fucking bitch.
Well, we kind of started talking on it. I've talked about Destiny a little bit, but I really wanted to talk about ARGs or alternate reality games, and which, for those of you, if you are uninformed, is an alternate reality game is an interactive networked narrative that uses the real world as a platform and employs transmedia storytelling. So it uses a bunch of different things to be a game, basically, to deliver a story that may be altered by players' ideas or actions. Basically, it's often like a big scavenger hunt that a couple people are just slowly releasing information for, or the steps take a while for the next step to occur.
Yeah.
Ranges all kinds of like crazy things. Usually, there'll be like there's a lot of cryptography involved with them. A lot of them will involve Morse code. I know there was one, and then some of them will split off into little bits. Like, so after you finish each step, we'll say one step is to pick up a text file off of a random USB stick. So you have to get a GPS location or something for the USB stick, and say it's at a bus stop that you find, because they want more people than just you to be able to do it. One one group had chiseled out, or someone had chiseled out a little hole in the mortar, and then put a USB stick into the actual wall of the bus stop, and then sealed it back up, so people would have to be able to come over with their computer and plug it into the wall and pull the text file off, which would give some code or something.
But how would these people figure out about it to begin with? That's what's interesting to me.
It depends on how it's released. A lot of times they'll show up as like a random like spam post on a forum. The Destiny one actually came out in, I think it was 2013. So 3 years or 2 years before the game came out, if I'm not mistaken. Did it come out in 15 or 14?
14.
Yeah, I think 14 because we
14. So a year and a half
it was a year
before
I
the
got
game
out.
came out.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was a year before because this happened in 2013.
No, I got out in 14. The game came out in 14.
No, I was
Oh,
wondering
okay.
what year we moved here.
Well, yeah, it was
Huh?
14 then. Because at the either way. So this game, this clue came on the Halo forums actually, or Bungie's forums, making some like super suggestive post. So the subject line was titled "Something is falling towards you, or are you falling towards it?" And the body contained only the phrase 7- only the trusted few. And that was it, like for their thing. So they're like, what the hell's up with this? Not like your normal spam post. So some people looked into it a little bit more, and then apparently found a link in that player's profile, or in that character's profile, that sent them to a bunch of geometric shapes, and people ran it through a bunch of different video or photo editing tools, and were able to scrounge out certain shapes that were being made under different filter settings.
Yeah.
And then so they decrypted a message, and then so on and so forth. But it ended up decrypting this big image.
It has to do with Alpha Loopy, right?
Right. Yeah, that's the user name that started it. But
Is that why there's something named after him now in the game? Because of that?
Don't know. There's not that much that's really put out about it. But yeah, if you go there to the Destiny or the wiki, there's the full like 7-point, I guess, decryption of what they put. And it was basically just a bunch of poetry. 7 days, there was the poem on each day, each talking about a different sort of
Yeah, I see it.
thing or aspect of it.
And there's like some code, some like geometric
Yeah, I
codes.
mean, there was some. I don't think there was Morse code in that one.
I bet you that has to do with that chess piece, or the crest of Alpha Loopy.
Yeah.
I mean-
well, Alpha Loopy was a character in the game.
Oh, so he already knew about it. Okay. I got you.
Right. Yeah.
See, I was hoping
But,
that got him like a piece of gear in the game. That would have been sweet.
Oh no. This guy. It's assumed that this is like a thing from Bungie. That it's
okay.
a Bungie account put that up, and each day over the course of 7 days released a little bit more of the puzzle until it was all compiled.
Didn't
ahead.
Cloverfield kind of do that?
I'm not sure. I'm not super familiar with
I
it.
think Cloverfield, the original
Well-
movie, put out a bunch of fake websites and shit that like
They put a
pointed-
bunch of fake websites, but it was always like back to the original website, and the original website was only that like really really vague clip of like the only scene in the entire movie that you saw part of the monster.
Yeah.
And like everybody was talking about Cloverfield before the movie because everybody was like, what is it?
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of, there's actually an animal, it's like an octopus type thing, or a squid. Can't remember what the name was, but everybody was like thinking it was that, and
I love
Oh,
that movie,
Cuttlefish.
Loki.
it was, huh?
Yeah, it might have been a
Is it
cuttlefish.
cuttlefish?
No, it was like Cthulhu, or it was like
Cthulhu,
a mythical.
It does look like
monster.
Cthulhu a little bit. I low-key love that movie. And 10 Cloverfield Lane is like
10
amazing.
Cloverfield Lane was a good movie. I liked the original Cloverfield. The only thing I didn't like was that it did make me kind of sick. Like,
See, I feel like people
oh,
just...
yes.
I just don't... That doesn't happen to me. Like, I can play VR,
It didn't bother me at all.
like, that doesn't bother me. I can play VR and, like, where Lauren will get sick as shit. I could, like, sit in there and, like, shake my head around and jump. Like, I don't feel that
Well,
weird from it.
I didn't want to like throw up. It just made like when you're holding a camera and you're doing this in the picture, and like I know you can hold it still. Like it just
Yeah, but there's a fucking Cthulhu jumping around outside.
bro.
He's not worried about
I've
like
seen
who's
people get in
watching
car
his fucking-
crashes with phones in their hands that have a better steady
Yo,
hand.
I will start complaining
Yeah.
about handheld fucking video when they start filming vertically. In a minute. If someone films vertically, I will
You
fucking
can't
boycott the
film
movie.
vertically with a hand cam.
No, but it would be hilarious if they did a found footage movie that was all taken on. See, that's an idea.
Ooh, let's make this movie.
Like a found footage movie, but all of it is just off of everyone's cell phone. So it's like different qualities, different like personalities of who holds it.
That would be
So
horrible.
you mean like Project Almanac, basically?
It would be horrible as far as watching it, but it would be clever enough to get people to watch it once.
Yeah, but that was like, did you ever watch Project Almanac, the time traveling movie? It's all from GoPros.
Oh no, I got that confused. I just got confused with Chronicle, which was weirdly good.
Yeah, I like Chronicle.
Yeah, that was pretty
Project
good,
Almanac was
actually.
good though. I've watched it a few times.
Yeah. So what else were you about to say about some AR Jesus?
Well, the one of the other bigger ones, which we've talked about, like touched on basically between the three of us, was that Cicada 3301. And I was just going to point out some of the other like crazy crap that was listed in that. They had a bunch of literary and artistic references for like MC Escher, cuneiform in general, Mayan numerology, and probably about 15 other literary artistic references.
Well, like in what
some of the
ways? Like
philosoph-
what did it reference?
I don't know. It's all kinds of random things. Maybe their work or just certain phrases or quotes that they have in the literary work.
Like a small
I know for some of the-
excerpt from a book or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, or maybe you find some particular thing about a Escher painting or something like that. Some of the philosophical references, and I don't know how these would fit in. Now, granted, I didn't take part in this at all. I've only really read it a little bit and read into ARGs on a little bit more broader scale. They have like things like ego death. Carl Jung, who did a lot for sociology, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I've heard of a
is
lot
that-
about ego death
Zen
being
Buddhism?
involved with it. Like that's what they're
Yeah.
trying to get you to go through when you're going through it. Like it's to like
Oh, really?
shed your like apparently that's part of it is like getting they want to find people that show those traits to make
Yeah.
it through the end. Because we did one on that other podcast I was in, we talked about it. And like
Yeah.
that's kind of what I got from it. Like there was like an interview of a dude that had made it and then got out. It's like he said it was just kind of weird once you get there. Like, but it's all a bunch of weirdos. But yeah, some of the questions that they ask people, like when you had to fill out stuff on it, were just bonkers. It was like Scientology questions.
Maybe it is. Maybe this
Yeah.
is
Maybe it is
Right,
Scientology.
yeah.
Scientologist.
So then they've got the other section, which is like cryptography, mathematics, and technological things. Different things from like physical ciphers to digital ciphers. A couple different types of encryption. Some digital stenography, where steganography.
Stenographic.
The fuck?
Practice of concealing a file, message, image, or video within another file.
Oh
Okay,
yeah, that is like heavy with Cicada, or like
Yeah.
it'll be hidden in like it'll be an image of like snow on a TV, and then when you but it's really in like what is
Yeah.
that? What's that fucking coding language that I can't think of right now? And my boss is gonna tell me that I'm a fucking idiot.
All I'm thinking about right now is that cicadas basically like,
Scientology.
well, there's that, but it makes me when you say stuff like the file within a file, I think that Leonardo
Inception.
DiCaprio and and Tom Hardy are gonna jump out and be like spinning their little tops on the table and shit.
Dude, that would be tight. I mean, couldn't you argue that Pokemon Go was an ARG?
Yeah,
Yeah, it definitely was.
it was.
So there are more lighthearted, less cryptic versions of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely less culty ones, for sure.
But
I don't know if
the
we can
culty
consider cicada a cult.
maybe. I mean, you could for like that 2 weeks of Pokemon Go. That was a fucking cult,
I mean, they created a
that's
cult.
dude. That shit was
I
fucking.
mean, Pokemon
bonkers,
kind of
dude.
is its own cult. As a cult following. Cult
Yeah.
classic.
No, but people were losing their goddamn mind, dude. Like there's this place down the road that like
The one that you
going,
took pictures at?
Yeah, was it? What's that place called, Lauren?
Oh, you talking about Pagoda?
The Pagoda.
What about it?
That's
I was
another
wondering what
game
it's
I
called,
cheated
but I
my
figured
ass
it out.
off in.
Yeah, I ran it through my computer a
We
lot.
tried to cheat on that game. We did try to cheat on Pokemon Go. Remember when we?
I stopped playing I didn't realize you couldn't like duel people.
Well, we
That's-
tried to-
that shit's
Well, you
weird.
can now, I
Yeah,
guess.
I don't know that you can now. They said
thought
it's
they-
coming for years, but I don't know. But me and Lauren downloaded this thing where you could like fake where you were.
Yeah, I downloaded it on my
Yeah.
computer. I run it through my laptop.
Yeah, because that shit, it's too hot outside. That's like when that shit came out. It
Well,
was
and there's
too
stuff that
fucking
you
hot
can't
outside.
like. There's locational based shit. So like, there's Kangaskhan and Farfetch or whatever. They're like you can only hatch them here, or you catch them in the wild there. So I'd like teleport to the national park in Sydney and like send my guy on a little route for hours on end.
Yeah.
Like I bring my laptop to work to run it at work.
So you just put eggs in your fucking satchel and fucking gay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tight. Fucking, what are some other ones? What's the most cryptic ones that you've, since you said you're into it? Like, are there some like super high level crazy ones?
So
cicada is super
the
interesting.
craziest ones that I've seen, I guess, were the Oxenfree one. But that wasn't so much crazy because of like the game. Like it's based off of the game Oxenfree, which I'm not very familiar with at all.
Yeah, it's like one of those indie
so
games
that's
that people
probably why
pretended
it
to
seems
like.
super weird and cryptic.
Like
to me.
Ollie Ollie Oxen Free.
Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah.
It's basically like one of those indie, kind of like one. It's one of those like moving story games, like that everyone for like a couple years everyone gave like great reviews of these games that weren't really even games. They're like, one of them was good. That Gone Home was good, but it was still not a game really. The best one of the whole group was that Until Dawn. Is that what that game? Huh?
Oh, Until Dawn. Yeah, that's a dope game.
Yeah, that was like the first game I ever got Lauren to play. Like she actually loved that game.
Yeah, it was an awesome game.
Yeah.
But I like those like cinematic sort of take control sometimes games.
Yeah,
like
when I'm
Between
chilling.
Two Souls was good too.
Oh yeah, Between Two Souls.
Are these
I've heard.
games like Limbo, or are these games like?
Less so. They're less moving. Like Limbo, they're still platforming and stuff. And another game that's awesome, since you have, I'm gonna give you my Steam shit. Is Inside. I have it. It's by the people who made Limbo, and it's even better than Limbo.
Really?
Yeah, it's awesome. But these games like Gone Home, it's like it sets itself up like you're in a scary house. You come home, everyone's gone, your family's gone. They were supposed to pick you up at the airport, they weren't there. It's raining outside, you're walking around, and the house seems haunted. Like they're definitely like setting you up to think that shit is fucked up. You're walking around and all you have is like you have nothing, but you're walking around like basically it's like walking around a Fallout vault in Fallout 4 where you just learn the story that happened in the vault as you find things kind of. Basically you've come to the end and it's like a super curveball because basically your little sister, everyone's gone because your little sister ran away because she came out as a lesbian.
Stupid.
That's the end of the game. You think at the very end, you think you're gonna go upstairs because your sister's been leaving little hints and shit that it's all moody music. Your sister's been leaving hints all around the house saying, that she's through with it, and you think at the very end you're walking up to the attic, you're about 90% sure your sister's hanging up there. Like you're pretty sure you're finding it seems like maybe your parents went to go look for her, that's where they're at, but you're about to go find her hanging because that's the way it sets itself up. And it gets up there and then she says basically she ran away with her fucking girlfriend. And that's the end of the game.
Ridiculous.
That's
The game is
super anticlimactic.
it's well made, but it's one of these, I don't know if you've noticed, but like games journalism, I mean, even more so than regular journalism. I'm a pretty liberal guy, but games journalism is like ridiculously liberal. Like they every game review, they're like, oh, this had a really strong female lead, and it's like they want just like gay and like female, they want all this shit thrown in just for like measure instead of it being like good for the story, you know what I mean? Like they will like take a game that has something like someone being bi or gay in it, and then they'll champion it as this like darling just because like look how brave they were to make this game kind of thing. So like a lot of places
Like,
gave it
one
like
character has
10s.
to-
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was good. It's a good game. It's worth playing. It's like only like 2 hours long. It's like a $10 game. But it's fun, but at the end you're kind of like you kind of got tricked. Like what if you weren't like I don't know. I'm not saying like you should, like the world's in a weird place now where you kind of have to like like gay people or not. Like I don't mind either way, but I get that some people don't like that, and like that should be okay too to not like that as long as you're not like hurting someone.
Right.
You should be allowed to not like something. Like I feel like as like a not racist person, I think that you should be allowed to be racist, just not prejudiced. Like I think if you don't like black people, that should be okay. You know what I mean? If you don't like them, but you can't. But if you were like to hire people or whatever, you can't let that affect that.
Right.
But I think if that's your opinion, then that's whatever. But I feel like if you were a person that didn't really like the idea of people being gay and you played this game, you would feel like super tricked at the end. You'd be like, I played this whole thing and then now it's like just got
That's why they did it.
blown up in front of me.
That's
Yeah.
what they did. They
Yeah.
gave these people nightmares.
It's really weird.
Then it turns into a horror game for them.
Yeah. Exactly. It is a horror game. It's a conservative horror game. Fox News labeled it as the scariest horror game of fucking century, dude. It's like it's turning all your kids fucking gay. That's hilarious. Like if that's what they were going for, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Like that's the ultimate troll
Yeah.
ever if they meant it.
It is a horror game. Horror games only are about perspective.
Yeah.
Like Resident Evil 7
shit.
wouldn't be scary if you were in the family that was doing that. You'd be like, oh, this is a normal day.
well,
You know what I'm saying?
that's a weird way to look at it, I guess.
Hi, Dabs.
It's a it's
It's like, well, okay, never mind.
Well, like Silent Hill isn't scary to the fucking demons.
Yeah.
I mean, well, you're killing them, so it's kind of scary.
But
well, no,
the
that makes it like a fighting game then.
Yeah.
Like go avenge your fallen friends.
Yeah. Get out there. Do it. Yeah.
Don't let
Jesus.
your dreams be dreams.
So what you're saying is Liu Bei was actually a good guy in Dynasty Warriors.
Oh, I never played Dynasty Warriors.
Oh, what the fuck?
I've always hated those type of games.
Why?
Like action, like pure action games don't do anything for me. Like Mike has been telling me over and over again to play Bayonetta, play Bayonetta, play Bayonetta, and
I
I'm
saw
like,
that yesterday.
that he wants me to play that, and my buddy who lives next door keeps telling me how like Nier Automata is like the best game he's ever played, and I do trust this guy like really likes it.
I haven't
Like,
seen that game at all.
it's an RPG. It's really deep. I mean, have you heard of it, Chase?
Yeah, but I saw some gameplay and I was instantly turned off by it.
Yeah, I would say this, like, don't. I feel like they're trying to throw off with the gameplay. Like, it's way deeper than they would, like, want you to think. It's like 15 different games stacked into each other. Apparently, you play the game, you finish it, then you play the game again as, like, your partner and finish it, and then you play it a third time, like, the third ending.
Right.
Like Resident Evil, like, give you a new character to play with sometimes.
Yeah.
This will give you a whole nother game on the third time, and you play it 6 times, and it's different.
Huh.
The entire game, like a 30-hour game. Like on the second time it's from a different perspective, and you're like, oh, I see what they're doing here.
Okay.
And the third time it's like a different game.
See,
It's super
and-
fucking weird.
So it's like 5 stories, but you play it 10 times because you do 2 perspectives in each
Well,
story.
you don't do 2 perspective in each one. It's super weird. I would watch a video on it because I know I'm messing it up. But basically, it has to do with the story is humans have died. Like they built aliens came or whatever, or they built AI. I forget which one it was, but AI went. No, it couldn't have been because they ended up using AI, so it must have been aliens. I can't really remember because I only played a little bit of it. Anyway, they went to the moon to escape.
Okay.
And took a couple hundred years building up these like clone robots that can go down and fight for them, and you're one of them. So every time you die, your memories and shit go back to another body on the moon.
Okay.
But the humans are sending you down to like take Earth back, kind of thing. And at a certain point, it like changes like crazy. Like apparently, like it's like other dimensional bending in like the third game. It's like apparently a completely different game. It's not even like it's almost like the first 2 playthroughs, which is like 60 hours worth of game, is like a prequel to the game. It's really weird, but it's cool. It's really fun, but it's kind of hack and slashy, and I don't really love hack and slash.
I like those games.
Well, then you would like it.
Isn't Bloodborne
I
a hack and slash
positively
game?
detest side scrollers. And,
Oh, is it a side scroller?
It,
It's
no,
a deal killer for
it has sections where like you're running up a building and it'll turn into a side. There's times when it'll go. The camera will switch. Like most of the time, the camera's behind you, and it's like hack and slash. And then sometimes the camera, you get in a tight spot, it'll go above you, and then it'll become a bullet hell game.
I don't know.
But then sometimes it'll turn and be a side scroller. But that's only it's like 4 different types of game at once. Like that's what's so. It's impressive that they pull it off like that, but it's just a little much for me. I mean, it's also an action RPG. Like you level up and like put augments in your shit and like do all this crazy shit. You also go to towns and talk to people, and like it's literally every game put together.
What's it called?
It's Nier Automata.
I have to look at it.
Hey babe, will you bring Leroy over here? Wes wants to see Leroy.
Who?
Wes wants to see Leroy. Yeah.
So anyway, dang, I was gonna say something and I don't remember.
You bonked out?
I don't know. I know that I've been playing a shit ton of Morrowind recently.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I put like 5 hours in the game.
Have you put mods on it? I heard that you can make it look good, like almost like Skyrim.
I haven't looked at. I wanted to actually just get back into it and play it again, and like legitimately, because last time I had it on Xbox and I played it and I played it. It goes great, and then I bought it for PC and then I just cheated a bunch. So I wanted to play it through legit, but I think there are some like lifestyle mods that I want to do, because I know like on Oblivion and Skyrim you could do mods where like it got rid of the loading. Like when you open a door and it goes to the loading screen, you can make it to where the door just opens, and that's so there's like no rendering and stuff like that. And then like stuff like that.
Does it still feel like an old game though?
Yeah, like I was actually thinking about that earlier. I was playing it and like compared to especially Skyrim, which I played on the PlayStation, but was still really good quality in comparison.
Yeah.
Like you'd have plants in the middle of the road, and it would be like you could see blades of grass and fine definition and the flower petals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And this is kind of just like bricky and blocky. I don't remember that like not every hit landed a blow, or every swing.
Skyrim's still like that.
No, Skyrim is if you physically, like if the models collide, then it takes damage. In Morrowind, it's actually a hidden dice roll.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all
like
dice
you
rolls,
just keep
Even if
swinging
the
the shit
models
out of
collide.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I remember. That was the first game I got for Xbox, and I remember being like way overwhelmed.
I used to play it at my buddy's. Like I didn't. Oh no, sorry. I bought it for the PC first. Like Halo or yeah, the first Halo and Morrowind I both bought on PC because I wasn't allowed to have an Xbox. I had a PlayStation 2 or something.
Yeah.
And then Halo 2 came out, and that's when I got my Xbox.
Well, like what's cool about Morrowind is like they will, and I heard a review on YouTube of someone talking about Witcher 3, which I never thought about this part. You can turn off the HUD and everything in Witcher.
Yeah.
And the map, and the game is still completely playable from beginning to end, like without using like a quest marker, because every quest they'll tell you where you need to go, like be like go down the road, take a left, and then like because there's so much detail in the world that you're able to like be like, where most games are like, hey, go pick this up, and it puts a blip on the map, and there would be no way for you to find it if you weren't looking at your map, basically.
Right.
But apparently they like took that from Morrowind. Like that was like they were like, we want to make it like Morrowind where you just show up in this world. There's no quest mark. Like I remember being like, what, playing for hours in Morrowind and then being like, I haven't even done anything.
It was like there's quest markers, but like, well, no. There's quest markers, like it doesn't put one on your HUD.
Yeah.
It does put one on your map and you can go to it, but you have to look at like the city signs and stuff are on street signs, like old school wooden posts. And you do have to like do that, or you look at your map and you say, oh, I need to go north, and you just kind of keep your mini map kind of pointing in that direction. But Morrowind, like style-wise, was my favorite one. Like obviously Oblivion was better quality and there was a different story.
Style in what way? Like the way it looked?
No, like as in, well, I mean, everything was a skill, right? Like jumping got you skill, and
yeah.
So there was all that, and then
that is the way to do an RPG. That is like I do like that about
the
it.
map style, like you talked about. I really enjoy that
Repetition-based progression.
Like in Oblivion and Skyrim, you could just kind of head in that direction and not do, because if I'm not mistaken, there's not quick travel in Morrowind. It's only the stilt striders.
See, I don't really remember. I'd like to replay it.
I don't think there was. It's only, like I said, I paid $5 for it.
Yeah.
For a Steam key.
Yeah.
It was super worth. Like I've already gotten. It was $11 after tax, after like the security fee or whatever, which I've totally gotten $11 worth out of it already.
Yeah.
But so like that, you always had to walk everywhere. So even if you were heading in the direction that you knew you were supposed to go, you still could do hours of shit. Like there's the Dwemer, like the actual, you can go in there and get their kind of armor and stuff like that, and like explore their lore in the books.
I still can't believe you haven't played Witcher. You're like explaining The Witcher.
I just never like.
You're explaining The Witcher, but
I was so committed to Destiny.
An ugly looking game. Like, like The Witcher is like gorgeous. Like you can be on a side quest in The Witcher. Like it'll be listed as a side quest. You'll go on it. All of a sudden, you're like 3 hours in, and you're like invested in this family, and like, why is the dad a werewolf? And then you're like, legit mad. And then at the end, you get to like pick like who lives and who dies, and it will affect you like 20 hours later. Like, and it'll
Yeah.
never tell you that hey,
Oh, so
this is going to happen.
like kill. You could change your story by killing.
Yeah,
somebody.
and you can.
Like drastically.
It'll
No.
never even tell you. It doesn't do that thing where it's like, hey, someone will remember this. Like, it never lets you know that, hey, what you do right here is going to be thought about later. And then it'll be way later. And you'll be like, what the fuck, dude? So I could have done this. Like, at that point, you'll realize how the game is structured. Like, it takes a while to see, like, the overarching how it is. But you could be like, dude, this whole shit would have been different if I just did this one thing different. And the game's still fun. Like, people will talk about, like, whole towns will change how they are. Like, instead of... Like, a lot of games try to do that. They try to do, like, you know, when you do something like Mass Effect, try to make you, like, good or bad. This game doesn't make you
like
good
Fable,
or...
you mean?
Yeah. It doesn't make you, like, Paragon or bad or whatever those things are, but, like, it just... Everyone remembers, and, like, the detail... Like, it's all in, like, the small shit. Like, they nail, like, people just going outside and doing shit. Instead of it being, like, people are on a track doing things, it's like you're in, like, a real town sometimes. Like, you'll be walking around. Like, I would just, like, not get anything done. Like, I would just be playing the game, and I'll just be, like, looking around like, man, this shit's fucking cool. And then that's it. That's all I'll fucking do. And then you can be, like, what you were talking about, like, say, then all of a sudden you find a piece of, like, something that you can build, like Witcher armor. And then all of a sudden you go down a fucking rabbit hole where you're like, okay, well, now I want to find all the parts of this suit, and I'm not going to do another fucking quest until I do it. And then all of a sudden you're like 10 hours in on just fucking building a fucking suit of armor. And then you legit feel like a badass when you actually get your first mission after that. You're like, I'm fucking G right now. It's like,
That's definitely true,
it's
yeah.
one of the best, like, most well-made games, like, all around as far as, like, story. Like, it's not corny when people talk. It's not, you're not, like, rolling your eyes at what people say. Sometimes people will, like, say things that I'm like, I can't believe, like, because you expect a game to, like, kind of lead you in a way, or, like, expect you to think but these people will, like, make fun of you for saying things that, like, you shouldn't say. It's just, it's really well done.
It was like, I think still my favorite game like that is Coder, Knights of the Old Republic, like on PlayStation 2.
Knights of the Old Republic.
I
Yeah.
love new, fucking, yeah.
Like the original one, like the remakes were or the follow-ons, the sequels and stuff were okay, but like the original one, that was awesome.
Yeah. There's a fucking... If you like Morrowind, like, they literally took a lot from it in Witcher, and Witcher is, like, a new game. I mean, it's still, like... People will say it's, like, the best game ever. Like, and what you were talking about with signposts and stuff, it's weird that we finally got to that point. Like, I remember... Do you remember in Ocarina of Time, Zelda, like, you could, like, cut down the signs and
I
stuff?
never had a Nintendo anything.
All right, I don't let poor people in here, but they
Sorry.
but they did it like when it got to the point where like you could have signs and read them and shit. You would think to yourself, okay, well now we're at this point now where we have this technology, like let's make that part of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like Morrowind did.
Well, in Morrowind, you couldn't even read. Well, you couldn't read the sign, but as soon as you highlighted it with your reticle or whatever,
Yeah.
it would tell you, like, written like a caption, kind of,
Yeah.
what it says.
But it's so cool that like it makes you do that. So like they took the risk of being like, because basically there's a fine line in a video game of like the things you could, because you don't want a game where you have to do every little thing that you would have to do in real life, because then it's just like I'm in real life now. But at the same time, that would be cool if you were in like Morrowind in real life, I guess. But
I would like to do something like that.
yeah,
Like just
so I think
sword
that there's just
shields.
like a small group of people that want to do that whole thing, like read all the signs, do all the shit, and that's what Morrowind was made for. I wish that they would do more, especially now with like better graphics and like VR. Like you could do so much more with shit like that.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, they kind of, I guess, appeased the crowd when they went to stuff like map markers and HUD markers and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, they were getting bigger.
I mean,
they wanted.
go ahead.
Well, no, go ahead. Well, it's fine. I mean, it's just like as the game gets bigger, they start doing things like to make it more popular. They're like, we want to make it a little more casual, still keeping the
Right.
shit. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was gonna get at. Is a lot of games nowadays that if they want to go viral, if you however you want to say that, they appease or appeal to the casual guys or
Yeah.
the guys that get on and play for an hour or two a week,
Yeah.
but still can like progress and have good shit.
There's
Whereas-
millions more of those people.
right
That's
than
why.
people like us,
Yeah,
who
yeah.
want to get on for 3-4 hours a day. When we can't, like when we actually get to sit down and play the game, we want to play it for a little bit and actually commit to the time. versus somebody who wants to play like 10, 15 minutes a day, play a game or two, and then like fuck off for a week or two.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's crucial.
But then now, I'll say that now, like, I don't get to play as much as I did maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. So, like, kind of
That's true.
that middle balance has been nice for me. Like, Morrowind is still kind of you can get on and play it for an hour or two, and, I mean, it's not online based, so you can take your time with it. Or, that Battlegrounds one. I mean, that's you start, or Paragon, like games like that where I can get on and I can get stuff that like benefits me eventually, like Paragon with the cards. Not so much the Battlegrounds, but
Yeah, but Battlegrounds is a new thing every game, so that's
it's always new. So like I can always just get
kind of
on
removes itself.
as long as I remember how to use my fingers.
Hopefully they work on like the reward thing. Like it's there, it doesn't do anything really.
Yeah, like it's all just cosmetic, which is cool.
Yeah,
It's fine.
I mean,
Or like if you could have stuff that was like greater chance for this or that, that would be kind of cool. But then it would be impossible to do because they never know where you're going to drop.
yeah,
They can't just RNG as you hit the ground, because then they have to do it each time each person hit the ground. It's 100 times that they're changing something.
yeah. No, I know. I'm trying to think. There was like lately I've been doing this thing where I used to only like online games for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now in like the last like 6 months, I just want to play like single player games. Like Battlegrounds is the first game that I've been like, okay, I'm ready to go back into it. Like I just got burnt out on like, getting a full group and running in there and like, I don't know.
Well, it's like I
Yeah,
really
I get through those
enjoy playing.
phases, too.
I still play Horizons every now and again, but it also kind of gets boring because it's fun to play them, but then you realize that you spent 4 hours staring at a screen by yourself, not talking to anybody. Whereas I can play Battlegrounds and not be all that great at it, but still have fun conversation at least and play with somebody and feel semi-social.
Yeah, I mean, I do miss like the social aspect of it. I just have been like liking just losing myself in a game without having to do anything. But
Well,
it
it's
is
That's why
all fun to play
I
Witcher.
never mind, even if I'm playing a single player game or like not online or anything, I'll still happily sit and chat with people.
Yeah, like I'd
doing
like to
that.
be able to do that. Usually I play single player games when nobody else is on. Like I played a
makes
little bit
sense.
earlier today. Like when Helena took a nap, Casey kind of lay down on the couch for a cat nap.
I did a cat nap.
Cat nap.
Clever.
But you could do stuff like that.
Yeah, man. So what else? What else do you want to talk about? I remember you saying something fucking really.
Well, dude, it was like the thought for the day was kind of like, what was the exact words that I
A
said
thought
to Chase?
for the thought for the day.
like
Thought
PHOT.
of the day.
I mean,
We should do it. We should do a thought of the day section.
thought of the day.
I'll
Is
find
euthanasia justified?
Is euthanasia? Yeah, euthanasia.
Youth and Nathan.
Euthanasia.
No,
but,
because
like,
that's an amble sounding shit right there.
I think when I saw in context, it was way more about is it justifiable to, or is it ethical? I mean, I guess ethical too, but is it right to do it to like have a kill shelter and stuff like that? But I took it more as like,
Kevorkian.
well, assisted self and like doctor assisted suicide and stuff like that, and like especially in a terminal case, is where I think about stuff like that for.
Yeah.
I've written a few papers on it. Like I think it's a really interesting subject.
It is interesting. Like I was one of those people growing up where like, that whole like fucking thing people say like it's just so selfish to kill yourself. You know what I mean? Like how everyone says that. And then when I was in the army at one point, I had like, it was like for a day. It only lasted for a day, but like I had like an insane panic attack where like I like basically broke from like my reality for like a day. And I remember just thinking like, my family's gonna have to come to Hawaii. They're gonna see me in the psych ward. Like, I want to kill myself. I remember thinking like, if this lasted any more time, I want to kill myself. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So like, people who like never had like, I only dealt with it for one day, and there's people that deal with like legit mental illness like daily. And like you cannot even mental illness like when you really fucking break from reality, it's not just like oh, I feel weird or I'm really sad. Like, it's not, it's like you're not even a fucking human in your mind anymore. Like, it's just weird. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, people that are going through that, like, it's more selfish to me, in my opinion, which, I mean, I'm just a fucking idiot too, but to me, it's more selfish to be like, hey, you should stick around in that situation forever, for years and years and years, so that I don't have to feel sad that you died. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
So I've always been the type of person that's like, you can't know what someone's going through at all. Like, I can't even know, even if someone's happy, like, I only know my experiences. That's it. I can never know someone else's experiences. So, like, I understand, like, I've always been the type of person where I switched my whole thought process on it because I really did think that it was, like, really selfish. I just was on that train about how, like, fuck anyone who does that. It's fucked up. You know, they did this themselves. But, like, every case is I'm sure there's some people that do it for attention and, like, that's sad. Like, yeah, that's stupid. Like, that's unforgivable, I guess. But, like, there's other people that you can't even speak on what they want to do. So then not only that, but then what if you, like, had some terminal shit going on and you're, like, in some kind of crazy pain and you are already dying anyway. You just want it to get over with because you just don't want to sit there and think about it all day. So, like, assisted suicide, like, I can't believe that it's even anyone, that there can even be any, like, legislation or red tape in the way of it. Like,
mean
it's
for, like,
your
the
own.
doctor-assisted suicide?
That's actually
Or
that's the point I was going to bring up.
euthanasia?
Was like, I don't understand, like, the moral objection aside, I don't think it's, like, any government's right or responsibility to try and, like, regulate if you can kill yourself or not. The doctor
Can you get a
assisted or
ticket for, like,
otherwise.
trying to do something, trying to commit suicide, and you survive? And
I could see them
I-
giving you
I-
like charging you, like, money for them having to come out and save your ass. I get that. Like,
We get, like, a
Yeah.
ticket. Well, like, it's
Yeah.
like, I've been told
Right.
there's a, the Chesapeake Bay toll, whatever.
if you try to jump off it,
that into
yeah,
the water, like, they can get you for
for being a fucking
like, it's like something
Predator.
about suicide.
yeah. And I'm also, like, I don't know how to switch to suicide, but
What's-
while we're there,
Yeah.
like, there are different ways, you know, that there are some ways that are saying, hey, please help me before I do this, and then there are other ways that are like, I'm killing myself right now, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
like, jumping off of a bridge or ODing is not the same as shooting yourself in the head, like, at all. Like,
That's
there-
not funny, but it's,
no, but I don't mean it in a funny way.
No,
just
I'm
mean,
saying
yeah.
I'm laughing.
Yeah, but I
It's
mean,
not funny, but
but it's like
the way you
one
say it.
is a very, like, it's like a period at the end of the sentence, and one
One
is
is
like
finite.
one is like an ellipsis. One's like a dot dot dot. Maybe you'll come save me, and one's like a period. Sentence is over. I fucking did it.
It's just saying one is attention seeking, one is like you really
Yeah.
want to kill yourself.
Yeah, like, one of them is looking for help. Maybe they don't know how to say it. I don't mean it in, like, a downgrading way, like attention seeking, like you're just a fucking attention whore. Like, I think that maybe some people don't know how to say they want help or whatever, and then they might really want to die, but they're a little scared, so they don't want to do something super final. You know what I mean?
Right.
But there's nothing, like, you shoot yourself, like, you know what's going down. You know what I'm saying? What's even weirder is when
Yeah.
people live through that. That's even weirder, because then
Well, but
Yeah.
then most of those people that well, I won't say, like, there's a. I met a guy one time who had, like, a really bad, like, limp twitch, really fucked up, like, side of his body.
Yeah.
This was when I was in Germany, and he had shot himself. Like, it's like not fucked up. It was like here and up was all fucked up. Cause he had, like, laid down in a tub and shot himself in the face with a shotgun.
yeah,
Like, it slipped when he was trying to do it with his feet, and it shot him in the face. And, like, I think he actually may have died, like, on the operating table or something. But I mean, he lived, and he was like, I'm really glad that I did, because I wanted to live. But then you meet some people that are like, I still wish that I would
Yeah.
have died
yeah.
at the same time.
That's heavy, dude.
It's intense.
That's super fucking heavy. But about, like, so what were you saying about how you feel about, like, legislation and stuff?
Well, I was looking it up just because I don't really want to be talking about my ass here. So apparently it is actually perfectly legal to commit suicide. The
If you complete it.
restrictions- No, for suicide attempts.
Okay, good.
Suicide legislation. Well, in the United States, it is legal. And it's there's legal medical assisted suicide in California, Oregon, Vermont, and Washington.
Yeah, I think
There is,
Oregon was the
however,
first one. Oregon and Vermont.
Yeah, but euthanasia is illegal in all 50 states. However, if you want to go to Canada, it's legal across the board.
Dude,
Yeah, because when I was doing it, it was more like The first time I ever did any research.
Hold on, when you were doing what?
research.
Oh, okay. I thought you were assisting suicides.
No. The first time I ever the reason it caught me the first time was it was for like a senior research project or something like that, and my English teacher made it. I think the first one was supposed to be on great heroines of the heroines of the 1400s or something like that, and it was just I couldn't find anything, so she's like, "Fine, do it on this," and it was supposed to be about doctor-assisted suicide or euthanasia for terminal patients. But I did that, and it only really turned into a page. So then I went into way deeper than that, more than just terminal patients and stuff like that. And then I actually wrote it the next year too. I did another.
You wrote the same paper, or just read?
No, it went from a
cool.
2-page paper to a 10-page paper. So I got to do a lot more on it, and then I also got to use examples of pet-based stuff or.
Well, we let people do it with dogs and cats.
I even got to do a tie-in with genocide and stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't know. We let people do it with dogs and cats, and everyone's on board. So I don't we all get that. Hey, I wouldn't want my fucking cat to be suffering.
Are you? That kind of reminds me of that video I saw of a chick running into Chick-fil-A or something, and she's talking about how this little girl outside is really scared to come in there because they tried to kill her, and it's a fucking chick that hatched out of an egg or something like that.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about right now.
Those animal activists that you never seen the video. It's this lady, and she runs inside of I forget where it was, but it was somewhere where they served poultry of some sort or did breakfast foods.
Yeah.
And she was talking about there's a battered child outside that survived one of your death camps, and it makes you think that they're talking about this kid that was tortured. And
they personified it. They
chick.
personified a chicken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little chick.
Yeah, that's a little bit far. But I'm saying where people get mad, they don't believe in assisted suicide, but we put our cats and shit to sleep if they're no one bats an eye. It was weird. There was a thing when I was still on Facebook. This guy in Virginia Beach. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, you're saying so you don't mean kill shelters. You mean if a cat's in poor health, they'll euthanize it. Oh, okay, that makes way more sense.
Yeah. Well, because it's weird that we're even in a situation where that's a thing. If the person wants to die, but there was this guy a couple months ago on Facebook. He made big news around here. But his animal, his dog, well, no one knows what happened at first, right? At first, someone found a dead dog on the beach, buried, that had a gunshot in its head.
I do know what you're talking about.
So everyone freaked out, and the whole Facebook was we got to find this fucking guy, And usually once the pitchforks come out, that's it. There's no saving whoever did something, But this guy came out, instead of waiting for people to find him, he came out and made a post and was had pictures of hey, this is my dog. She's been alive. We had the best time together, but she's been getting sicker and sicker. I knew she was going to die soon, but a couple weeks ago, I kind of thought it would happen during the day, and I would have time to take her to the vet and get her put down. But I didn't know it was going to come at 3:30 in the morning, where she'd start convulsing, and I didn't know what to do, and I just wanted to stop. She's been my friend for 15 years, so I took her in the garage and I shot her in the head. I didn't know what else to do, and then so I buried her in our favorite place, and then when I read that, I was I get that, and I feel that's cool to me, but I thought that Facebook would, because everyone's so fucking far left now that it's or far right, you're so far either way that you just can't understand where someone's coming from anymore.
Or you do, and you have to bash everybody for not
but everyone was I get it, that's so cool, and I was the fuck? Everyone was totally on board, and they were
not everybody, a couple of my friends were kind of well, not kind of, they were
but
super skeptical about
the situation.
They're okay, was the dog really sick? But I guess if he really did have the dog that long, and I mean, I could
the
totally
pictures he
understand
showed, she was old.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just, if the story's even 5% true, it's I get it.
Yeah.
I could just think what stuck with me about the story the most was when he said that because whenever, I don't know if you've ever had an animal get hurt or die, but it's I had a cat that got bit by a dog, and I remember it being I was at dinner, you think you're having a normal night, and then all of a sudden just something will snap and all of a sudden this animal's dying, and you like care for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he was asleep, and he wakes up, his dog's dying, and he's got to do something about it. You know what I mean? Like, and you're like in panic mode. You know, so it's just super fucked up. But that's what stuck with me the most was that he was like, I expected it to come at some point, but not like 3 a.m. You know.
Well, it's like I can identify with the fact, or I can understand it from the point that I've had to put animals down before. Like 2 collies we've had to put down. Like when I was really young. I don't quote me because I never actually looked into it because I found out years later after it happened, and then I wasn't really into like deep researching things. But she had some sort of like collie-based mange that like they're born with, like it's a thing, and she would get like hot spots and just scratch her skin. It would get like cancerous and nasty looking, and her hair would fall out. So we had to put her down, and then we rescued 2 from a shelter. One ended up like years later, I guess, getting hit by a car, and then we kept the other one, but he had like really bad cataracts. We had to combat that, and then he had like kidney failure and like liver cancer or something. So like that on top of that we just he was just having not a cool life.
Yeah.
So we had to put him down.
Yeah.
That was really shitty.
Yeah, and they make like fixing a dog like so crazy expensive. It's like my aunt has a dog now that is like on her name's Barnum, and like she has those bumps you're talking about where it's like growths.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And they like came like she has one on her front arm that's so bad that it like stops her nerve from working, so her like right arm is like basically dead now.
Yeah.
But it's not hurting her. She still wags her tail and shit. She just drags her arm. But like she's so close to the end of her life, and they want like $10,000 just to amputate her leg.
Right. Well, it's like
So it's like you feel like a piece of shit keeping this dog that has like you can't get it surgery because like who's got $10,000 for a dog that's dying maybe in a year anyways.
right.
So like it's just so fucked up.
Well, it's like we had 2 other dogs. Like I kind of 2 other examples. We had another dog. My stepdad, he had a dog, Celia. She had a bum leg from getting shot as a BB as a puppy, but she had this like it had to have been like 10 pounds, like cancerous growth right in the center of her chest. That was just disgusting, and like it would like pull her down. And finally, they put her down. I mean, that was hard. He had that dog for a long time, but then my brother rescued, or my family rescued. It became my brother's dog, a like blue heeler mix.
Yeah.
And he was always super like neurotic and didn't like dudes. He was a bait dog for like people train fight dogs, and they would just like he would be the meat basically.
Yeah.
And he got rescued. We got him. So he didn't like dudes.
So
And
fucked
he
up.
didn't,
How could you do that?
he's still
pretty
super
fucked
messed
up.
up from it. But he ended up breaking out of the front door one morning and got hit by a car. And it was like $8,000 to repair his leg, or $1,000 to just cut it off.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Lauren found
Like,
out that Leroy is going to live like 20 years, and she's like mad about it.
She
She thought it was only going to be like a 10-year thing. She was like, she read, like, she like
Well,
started
she
yelling.
hated him, then she loved him, and now
Yeah.
she hates that she
She
loves him.
like came out
She's
here
lived
like
so
yelling the other day, talking about how she read online that they lived 20 years, and she was like mad. She thought she was like a good fifth of the way through it already.
You should have bought her a parrot, because those things, like African Greys, can live for like 100 years or some shit like that.
I know my dad had one, but I'm not trying to one up your story. He had one. I don't know where it's at now.
Those
Still alive though.
Those are like my
somewhere.
favorite birds.
His name was Jack. He was a fucking asshole, dude.
Yeah.
He's still probably an asshole. He's been alive my whole life. He has to still be alive.
I worked for a guy in high school, like when I was 15, digging ditches, and they like actually bred a couple different birds, but he had like 50 or 60 different, well, not different, but he had 60 birds of various like species, cockatiels, cockatoos, I don't fucking know.
Did
But
he
he
have
had
call pigeons too?
He didn't have any pigeons, but he had a mating pair of African Greys, I think. I know he had a pair, like a male and a female. And, like, the male ran that house. I remember he would, like, turn the lights off, and he'd be like, all right, go to sleep. Stupid cocks, or stupid cunts, or, like, say something stupid. And, like, he would mimic all his... He would mimic all his phone, like, his phone ringtones. Like, he had a Yoda one. And he'd be like... You know, like, sounded just like the ringtone of Yoda.
Yeah.
That shit was funny.
Yeah.
Well, they
awesome.
they mimic, and that's where people come in
they-
to wonder if they actually are talking or if they're just mimicking.
Well, African Greys have, like, I guess, and don't quote me because I don't know birds, but from what I understand, African
I'm an
Greys
expert in
have
bird law.
Really? Bird
Yeah.
law?
Bird law, yeah. Charlie Day.
Like if my African gray wants to see my cockatiel for space in the house or something.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, have you like heard about how like they think crows might be like sentient?
Yes, I have.
Because they can talk, but they also will recognize like the same person like years later. Even just seeing them like once, they will recognize the same person.
Interesting.
They'll do like problem solving shit. But yeah. Do you actually? Can that be the next podcast? If we're
Sentient
like,
beings
yeah, like are we alone? But not about aliens. Like about are we the only sentient things
on Earth or
Yeah,
in the
well, I mean-
universe?
Well, I mean, we don't know for a fact that anything else even exists. I imagine it's impossible not for something else to be somewhere.
Well,
I
it's like
can't wait for us to just
Sure.
find fucking microbes on like Titan, so then we will.
Well, it's
the
like-
argument will be over.
to I guess
Yeah.
kick back again on my first religious rant, kind of in the very first trial podcast we did. That one was fun.
So,
But
so the thus far unreleased podcast.
oh yeah. Well, maybe one day you guys will see that nonsense. But it's kind of like egotistical. It's like if you think about it from like a Christian standpoint, God created like this world and these people. It's like super egotistical to think at if you believe in God that He only created like one world.
Yeah.
Like He only created us.
It's egotistical, even if not even Christian way.
Well,
Like
yeah.
just to think that like you're the. We've consistently believed that we were the center of everything, and
Right, like the center was the
consi-
center. Earth
Yeah.
was the center of the universe,
and we've
that was the
consistently been
sun.
wrong.
Right.
And now we're not
That's
even
why-
anywhere. Go ahead.
That's why it's a lot easier to just believe that the dark god Cthulhu is going to rise up and destroy us all instead.
I mean, it's literally based
Yo, how
on
do
as
we
much
keep
fact.
hitting on Scientology today. Like,
Cool.
that should
Well,
have been this.
Cthulhu's not Scientology.
Yeah.
Well, no, but
Yeah,
I mean, like
he should be.
Not,
I
would be- I would be
like,
part of it.
How
In
did,
jail
like
your brain.
that's? I meant Cthulhu because that's the second time we've talked about him today.
Yeah,
We
I
just
mean,
talk about like demigods next.
but
time.
there's so much. There's just as much fucking truth in talking about Cthulhu than Jesus.
that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's like one just, you know, I don't know. Like, what's weird to me is like I think that a cult.
Will Godzilla save us from Cthulhu?
Well, not only that, but like I was talking to my grandma about this and she got really mad. But like I mentioned that, like I was like, what, like, so you believe in this shit? Like I could tell her something and she would be like, I need like facts and shit. Like you need to back up what you're saying about anything. But she will believe just some random shit that was written down a long time ago from someone she obviously never met. But like
I don't know. It's pretty old, right?
it's really not that old. Sorry, Grandma. She's still alive, so she won't watch us. But anyway, but I brought up this thing where I was wondering, like, I think that whenever there's a newer religion, it's called a cult. It's like a cult. It's a cult until you're enough generations separated to where you can't know the person who made it anymore.
So what you're saying is Scientology will soon be a accepted religion?
Well, it is. They don't pay taxes.
Well,
I mean, that's literally the only thing that.
so they're,
See,
but
but
they're still,
even-
people still view them as a cult, though.
Even
Well-
after it's a little bit. I mean, you're still going to get made fun of. I mean, look at the Mormons.
Oh, that's well. That's a, hey.
I'm
That's
not gonna laugh
another.
in
That's
public
another
about
whole.
that.
Like, okay, I got one that I want to talk about next time. I want to
Oh,
do
sorry.
Heaven's Gate.
Hell yeah.
The ones with the Reebok or the Nikes that they
Yeah.
all wore. Yeah,
So,
I'll talk about
so
that.
next week, are we going to be chatting about sentient beings, or are we going to talk about religion?
Wait, is that the one that happened in Texas?
No, that's Waco. That's David Koresh. That's the People's. Not People's. That's David.
That's the
Koresh.
militia, right?
Well, the militia, Waco was it was kind of a militia, but not really. Like it got painted as that so that the government could roll in on them. They were like it was Mount Carmel was what it was called. I forget what, we just watched a documentary on it. It was during a time there was like a place called Ruby Ridge. All this like white power shit was going on. So the government was like all down on cracking down on people for shit like that and killing everybody. And then they kind of like painted that in like the Waco, Texas thing, but they really didn't do anything really wrong. And then there's like a huge debate about whether or not, because there's videos out there saying that because it was a compound full of like hundreds of, like 100 people,
Right.
Yeah.
and there's videos out like they basically make it seem like they wanted them to come out. They broke the walls down after like 40 days or whatever, 50 days of like talking to him. And they say that David Koresh wouldn't let them come out, and then a gas canister from a gas grenade caught on fire and burned the whole place down, and no one left. They just burned to death. but there are videos that have surfaced that people say are legit. So it's a conspiracy that of like infrared video showing people mowing people down trying to run out. Like, so we didn't want it. Like, we killed
After
them.
yeah.
So like it's like a huge thing. Apparently that's why Timothy McVeigh blew up the Oklahoma City. The
Oklahoma City bomber.
What was it called? The Murrah building? Yeah. He blew up the Murrah building because of that. That and Ruby Ridge, and he was like really mad about those things. But apparently, yeah, so David Koresh, that was what was that called? I could just Google it. I have
So
a
I just
Google
always
machine.
thought it was funny. Wasn't there? Maybe
The Branch Davidians is what it's called.
Yeah. Okay then.
Yeah, but the Heaven's Gate, the one I want to talk about, we don't have to, we can do the episode after next. That'll give me some time to I want to create I want to do some research on it.
Okay.
So if I know we're going to talk about that in 2 weeks, I can do some shit. But that's the one where that comet Hale-Bopp was coming, and they thought that they could get on the comet if they died at the right time.
Oh,
So
interesting.
yeah.
Kool-Aid though. Crush that shit.
Yeah. That's pretty tight, Dad. But I mean, no matter what, dude, do y'all think we could just... So this time next week, that's what you're saying, we're going to talk about some fucking... You want to talk about some sentient... Do we say sentient or sentient?
I thought it was sentient. Sentient, whatever. Fucking.
I think it just depends on where you're from.
It's like
Regional
data and
shit.
I think you sound
Data
smarter if you
Casada.
say sentient.
Well, it's like people that say... People say mature, but it's actually mature or whatever, you know? Like, it seems pompous.
No,
Mature.
I'm pretty sure it's mature.
Yeah, well, it's not, but we say it that way.
I think it is. It's a
All right,
I still have
colloquial
friends
usage
that say axe
Get out.
Well,
instead of
can we
ass,
act a little bit mature and keep this between us, y'all?
for sure.